Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. We are here post the biggest weekend in wrestling. What did you think of Spring Break Thru / the WrestleMania news type stuff? And
Spring Break Thru ruled. That was like, yes, I will admit that I didn't watch Collision. I watched highlights of Collision, but not the full show.
Okay.
But Dynamite was, outside of one exception that I'll talk about, possibly it was possibly a perfect show. It was very good. It was really, really good.
I think I messaged you during the show that any one of the matches on Spring Break Thru could have been like a mid-card or above pay-per-view match.
Yeah, if they put that show, even as it existed, if they put that on pay-per-view and I spent money on it, I'd be like, that was worth that.
Absolutely. It was just really well done, and we'll get to it a little bit later, but having it 2 days in a row was a little much, but it was still fun. It was still fun the second day, but like you said,
what did you think of Collision on Thursday instead of Saturday?
It would have been better had Dynamite just not been the night before, even if there would have been like a day between. So I don't want to say like I was like super fatigued, but it was just like, it just felt like I recorded it and watched it like I was going to fall asleep and watched it the next day. Like I wasn't as hyped.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like maybe Tuesday, Thursday would be like optimal. Like there needs to be a day.
Yes. Tuesday, Thursday would be good. Now, I remember you brought up back in the day, like with Tony Khan being owner of an NFL team, like they can't compete with the NFL.
Yeah.
I wonder though, with them being on Max, it like also on Max,
right?
Like if they could be like, oh, well, we're putting X amount of money, like to make it seem like Max would be like the bigger draw. Like we're putting 70% of the money in Max, 30% into TBS.
Right. Like where does Thursday games air in the US? Like is it like a major network or is it like
well, now it's NFL Network and Prime actually. So
maybe that'll get them around it too, because it's not on like NBC or something.
Correct. So yeah, I guess Thursday could work. So yeah,
I could see them doing like specials on Thursday, like maybe not every week.
Absolutely.
You're right. Back to back is a little much, but I could see once in a while. Like it made sense to move it this week because first of all, they have hockey on TBS and TNT, but also WrestleMania was on, so like it makes sense to move it. So if once in a while they did that, like maybe the weekend they have a pay-per-view, they move it to Thursday, or whenever WWE has pay-per-view on Saturday, they move. Like it would work once in a while, have like a special episode on Thursday.
Absolutely. It was nice to like, I'm trying to put into words what it was nice to see that the second night they kind of gave to, again, I don't want to say smaller, but I will say smaller stars. I was trying to find a better word.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, okay, last night was the big show and tonight everybody go out and shine.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, that's what I took from it, but it was still good.
Yeah. On that note, I saw people online talking like Dynamite specifically, but also like actually no, Collision too. Like Collision's been way better in the last little while.
Very true.
Do you think it's because Rampage is gone?
I never thought of that.
Because both the shows are better now. Like they're both much better. And I don't know if it's just like they got into a groove or like they've got a storyline that works. They've got like the wrestlers are all good. Or is it like Tony Khan's slightly less overworked? I don't know, but it has been better.
Yeah.
Both shows.
That's a good point. Yeah, they have been better. So yeah, I'll jump on that bandwagon. I'll say they're better. Yeah,
I think that's got to be at least part of the reason, because
100%,
it's gotten a lot better. And it was never bad, but it's like significant. Like now, Dynamite and Collision like feel like they're big shows all the time,
and like everything that you're going to put on those shows has meaning. Whereas Rampage was, I don't want to say Rampage was thrown together, but Rampage was kind of just a lot of, hey, wrestler A is going to wrestle wrestler B for tonight. Right. Wrestler C is going to wrestle wrestler D, you know? So yeah, now to have it more streamlined and everything that needs to be on it needs to have meaning makes more sense. Why it's better.
Yeah, for sure.
Good point. Well, Spring Break Thru opened with a freaking bang. The match that everybody thought was going to be a pay-per-view match, we had women's Owen match, Mercedes versus Athena, which, in my opinion, this has been the best match of the entire tournament, men's and women's.
Yeah, this match crushed. It was incredible. I was surprised that they gave away such a good match just on TV. Like, I know it was a special episode,
right?
And I'm not one of those people who's like, they should have saved it. Like, I don't care. Like, if you're going to put great matches on television for free, I'll take them all. Like, yeah, I don't manage your finances, so that doesn't matter to me.
Wow, 100%.
But yeah, this match ruled. It was hard hitting. It was a story to it. It was aggressive. It was great. This match was incredible.
And they made a liar out of both of us because it was totally clean.
Yeah, I thought it would. I didn't think it would be at all. There's no way I thought it was going to be clean. I thought they were going to do some sort of finish that would have them do a rematch.
I mean, they could, and I'll take it. How did you feel about? I mean, obviously, I'm stoked about the clean pin, but how did you feel about it personally?
I thought it was great. I was surprised. I didn't expect it.
Same here.
I'm not going to say I'm worried because I'm not, because Dynamite's on fire. Like, AEW has been doing great. I'm a little like, what does Athena do now? Does she isn't just going to go back to ROH, I'm assuming.
No, but this is her second time that she's been pinned in the Owen tournament. So they're kind of making this a little bit of a side story too.
Yeah, that could be a thing that I don't know. It's weird. The women's now feels kind of like the men's, where I'm like, they have too many people who should be getting like, who are great and should be getting like major storylines, but like everybody can't be in a major storyline. There's only so many spots, right? So like the women's Owen has maybe been more star-studded than the men's, even though the men's has also been.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Because like they have Statlander, they have Mercedes, they have Athena, we just talked about. I mean, Toni Storm, obviously the champion, Julia Hart, like Jamie Hayter. Like it's been so good.
And you just asked me what would be next for Athena. I was thinking after you asked that, my guess is eventually, let's see, what's the next pay-per-view? They're May 2nd. I don't know if it'll be this pay-per-view, either this pay-per-view or the Texas pay-per-view for Ring of Honor. She's going to lose the belt to Billy Starks.
That would make sense for sure.
And then that's how they get her on every week AEW TV.
Yeah, because she should be. Like, no offense to ROH, but like she should.
No.
And it's no problem if she was going to ROH sometimes. Like a lot of people go to ROH sometimes. But she should be on AEW like regularly. She's too good to like. Not that ROH is a bad brand, but like not as many people watch it. It's a lot smaller,
right?
So she should be on the show that 700,000, 500,000 people watch.
Exactly. And we were talking, I think last week, about the TBS title. That would be a great title for her. Like it's prestigious enough that it wouldn't be like a downturn from the Ring of Honor title. And it would be someone viable that, Mercedes could pass it off to.
Yeah.
And that resets that part of that division then.
Yeah, for sure.
If Mercedes moves on, Athena becomes like the figurehead. Oh man, now I want that to all happen.
Speaking of titles, like obviously we know what was going on, but I just thought of like when they both came out to the ring, I just thought if you were someone who hadn't watched AEW either ever or not in a long time, there was 6 belts between the two of them. And they're in another tournament where the winner wins a belt.
And I'll tell you, I watch Ring of Honor every week. I don't understand why Athena has 2 belts. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I know the spinner one is like her custom version of her belt, but then why does she have
but
the other one?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why she.
I was going to ask you that actually why, but I'm glad you didn't know because
no idea. Every week I'm like, why? And it was just one like. I think it's just one of those things that they did because like 1 week she showed up with it, nobody like acknowledged it, no one talked about it, and she just started doing it, and now it's every week. So I mean, I don't know, but it's never brought up. No one ever asks her about it. Like, it's just funny.
I could see though if you were like not a new fan, because like I've said a million times, I don't think there's anybody who has never watched wrestling who like outside of a kid decides in like post 25 to decide I'm gonna watch wrestling. Like I don't think that's a very large group of people. I'm sure it happens, but I think it's a very small group of people. But if you're a fan who hadn't watched AEW, like say you're a WWE fan and you haven't watched AEW, or you hadn't watched AEW in years, and you're like, oh, this is a big episode. It is weird to be like, wait, she has 2 belts. Wait, the other person has 4. Like
it especially coming if you would turn it on and you were a WWE fan, because WWE does not do that.
Right.
You know, everybody has 1 belt. Yeah. You'd be very like, what the heck is going on? And they're from other companies too.
Yeah, WWE is a bunch of belts. Like they have a whole bunch of titles, but they're all WWE titles. They're not. This was like, oh, only one of those belts is an AEW belt, and the other ones are all from other things.
Yeah. That would have been people might not have really understood what was happening there.
Yeah. But awesome match. Like that's my little nitpick, but like this match was incredible. I think it's even hard to say which my favorite match of the night was, because there was a lot of good matches on this show. But this match ruled. I thought it was excellent.
Well, we had a men's Owen match follow it, which was Hangman versus who we all thought Josh Alexander. Well, first and foremost, before we get into that match, what's your thoughts on the Elite situation? Like they pulled Hanger aside before the match, told him they were going to take care of him, and then they gave him Josh Alexander, which I love this new gimmick so far.
Yeah, everyone seems to be against the Bucks, which is weird because now I'm not. I think they're doing a good. I've made fun of the Bucks for like a long time, but like, I like it. I like what they're doing. We didn't record last week, but I liked their explanation of like, we wanted to help our friend Hangman, when clearly that's not the real reason. The real reason is they're scared of the Death Riders. And like, that's good. I like it. I think it's good. And
it's amazing.
I like them being EVPs and like acknowledged as EVPs, but like, it's kind of a paper title, right? Like they're not pretending to be in charge of the show. They have like some power. Like maybe they can change a couple things here and there, but like, it's obvious they're not the ones running the company. So I like it. I think it's good. I think they're funny. They're doing a good job. They're like the right level of annoying. They should be heels because they're just good at it. So I like what they're doing with Hangman, where they're just like kind of messing with him, and he's just like, I don't want you guys around. Like
it's so good. The way like his facial expressions during that promo were just like the best. Like seriously,
I think Hangman might have like the best facial acting in wrestling. Like he's really good at it.
Angry Hangman is probably my favorite thing. Like it's the best.
I like this story. I think it's fun. I think it's funny that they're like, oh, we want a peace offering to the Death Riders, and Moxley's like, what? Why? What are you doing? Like he's kind of just like annoyed by them, being like, what do you get out of my business? Like I like all of it. I think it's funny. Same. I think they're doing a good job. This is what the Bucks should be doing. They should be kind of just like shit disturbers, causing trouble here and there.
Yeah. Oh, and totally.
Like, I think it's funny. I think it's good.
I totally agree. I love what they're doing. This is like back in the day Ring of Honor Bucks, which makes me happy, and I hope they continue it.
Yeah. Because they're this is what they should be. This is like, from what all the good things I've seen of the Young Bucks, this is the personality that they have. So just keep doing that. It's good. I like it. I want to see where it goes too. Like I do want to see what happens. Like they're eventually going to get like the hell beat out of them by somebody. Who's it going to be? We'll have to see. It'll be fun.
Now they're slowly building another faction here. We have Josh Alexander joining the Don Callis family. First and foremost, I was unaware that Josh Alexander was Canadian, let alone from Toronto.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Have you ever seen him? What, like, was he at the TNA show you went to?
Yeah, he was at the TNA show I was at. I think he was the main event. I don't remember, but he was there. Yeah.
Is he like, does the locals go nuts for him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
For sure. He's not like, he's big in wrestling. He's not like Bret Hart where like he's big outside of wrestling, but like when he's at a show, yeah. And he's a great wrestler. So I'm happy he's here.
Hangman wins the match, moves on. Alexander joins the Don Callis family. The Don Callis family is slowly becoming cool, and it's bothering me.
I agree. So when Don Callis was saying people are injured, I assumed it was Lance Archer and Brian Cage, but Lance Archer's fine because he was on Collision. So I'm guessing it's just Brian Cage.
Yeah, he had knee surgery.
Okay, because I like that they kind of just alluded to the fact that Don Callis talked to him, and he was like, what'd you say to him? Oh, I was speaking Canadian. Like that does it feel like just like, but the fact that they're both Canadian just means that they're now friends. I like it.
Yes. Did you see the backstage segment with Speedball Mike Bailey and Don Callis when they cut promos in French?
Yeah.
That was awesome. I hope they let Speedball do more yelling in French.
I like him too. Like he's also Canadian. There's a lot of Canadians in AEW now.
Yeah.
They have to come to Canada again because they have all these Canadians.
Oh, absolutely.
I like all of them. I like Josh Alexander. It's weird because at the same time I'll say there's too many wrestlers and they can't fit them all on TV, and then I'm like they should hire Mike Bailey and Josh Alexander, but like they kind of I get it. I get that like one of the problems with AEW was like when WWE laid off all those people or released all those people, they signed Miro and Malachi Black and Andrade, and they signed like everybody, and I get that was potentially too many people. But if people who are really good, if people who are really good come up and want to work for you, then like, go for it. And Josh Alexander, especially because one of the problems with signing all those ex-WWE guys is they were releases. They didn't want to leave WWE. They were told to leave.
True.
Whereas Josh Alexander, like his contract ran out. TNA would have kept him. He wanted to come
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. That's cool.
I feel like, actually his contract ran out a year ago and it had a 1-year option, and he kind of made an announcement that it was like the end of his TNA career or something. I forget exactly what it was, that alluded to the fact that he was done with TNA, and then they picked up the option and like kind of made him stay for another year. And he was not I forget what he wrote on Twitter that seemed like he was not that happy about it. Like he would have preferred to leave. Right. But then he was like, well, you have me on a contract, so I'll stay. And he like stayed and wrestled, which was good.
Very Canadian of him.
Yes. But I feel like the guys who do the best in AEW who come from other companies are the people who want to be there. Like, Danielson or Copeland, who like their contract runs out and they want to come to AEW. I think the people who have the problems are the ones who got released. Like their dream job was to work for WWE and they couldn't. So they're like, okay, I'll work for AEW. But what they really want is to wrestle for, and that's fine. Like I get it.
Totally
do. But I think Josh Alexander is going to do great. I think him going with the Don Callis family is great because he's not like a big promo guy. So
that's having Don Callis with him.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to ask you. So
that
would
fine.
be one
like
of his weaknesses,
but like he's not like a promo guy.
I gotcha.
So I like the Don Callis family. Who's in it now? There's Josh Alexander, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher.
Well, we can
Lance
throw
Archer,
some spoilers.
Brian
we
Cage.
Throw some, Lance Archer. We throw some spoilers. Rocky Romero.
Yes. Trent is back.
Trent Beretta came back.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's 7. That's about everybody.
Yeah. It's a pretty big faction, but I kind of like it. Because it feels like a old school like WWF faction, like the Heenan family or something, where these guys are all in his group and like they'll tag together because they're all in his, but like they're not necessarily always together.
Right. Oh, Mark Davis is another one. There's 8 of them.
Oh yeah. There you go. Like he just comes out with these people and manages them, but they're not necessarily like a group that all has like one single goal. It just, they all have the same manager.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never looked at it that way. And I also love him doing commentary.
Yeah,
he's great. He's amazing. we had another men's Owen match between Ospreay and Takeshita. Yeah, in my notes, I wrote this was the second best match of the entire tournament.
This was like, I knew it would be good.
Yeah, same.
They do stuff that like you think people shouldn't be able to do. Like it's crazy.
And they do it at a speed that you don't think people would be able to do.
Yeah, and
like
for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's one thing if you come out and like it's a 5-minute match where you're like moving like that. If it's a 20-minute match like that, this was nuts.
They each burned 10,000 calories. Like no lie. They went, but like in the best way, bananas.
Yeah.
Ospreay moves on, which I think we both kind of he's our winner.
I feel like he wins. Yeah.
Same. So Ospreay in the finals, and it's either going to be against Hangman or Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
Which unbelievable. Do you give the crowd the rematch, or do you give the crowd the story?
I think it's gonna be Hangman because
give them the story.
Yeah, because that makes it less predictable. It could be Hangman winning the tournament. You don't know.
True.
I don't think Fletcher's going to win the tournament. I don't think he's going to main event All In, despite being a great wrestler. I don't think he's going to be the winner. Hangman's a possible winner. Plus, you just did that like massive blow off match with Ospreay and Fletcher.
Also true. Also,
I feel like you're not going to do it again because what are they going to do after that?
Yeah,
they can't like do another blow off. They just had one. So I think Fletcher loses to Hangman, and then you get Ospreay Hangman, which would be really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Have they ever had a match in AEW? I don't think so.
Unless did they? No, I was gonna say, did they work a Forbidden Door? But no, I don't think they did.
No, I think Ospreay's Forbidden Doors were. He had Omega, and then who was last year? It wasn't Hangman.
It wasn't Hangman, no.
So I don't think they've had a match.
Okay. Well, our least favorite titles were that now. Okay, we should throw a warning out to everybody. After the main event of night one was the trios match that it should have been on Tuesday night. But we had Shibata, Smojo, and new member of the Ops, Hobbs, beat the Death Riders.
Yes.
Happy that this happened. Do you think we're going to get actual trios champions again? Because it's been since the House of Black that we've had like real ones.
It's weird because like it was obviously supposed to be Hook.
Right.
So it's weird that it's Hobbs, because are they going to be, or is like Samoa Joe just going to go after Moxley and they're just going to forget that these guys have the trios titles?
Yeah, that's like, I hope they.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I will say, first of all, this match was fun. I liked it. I thought it was really fun.
Oh, yes, it was.
All the interference, like it was the right amount of like random cluster stuff that it was fun.
Yes.
And like them winning it, Mox, especially the fact that Mox was the one who, I don't think he tapped out. I think he passed out.
Out. Yeah.
The fact that Joe choked out Mox, like that was a moment that was huge. Like that felt huge. That felt like a big deal, which is what they wanted it to feel like. And that was great.
And everybody expected him to get out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like, oh, he's not going to choke out Mox. Like,
no, I
choke
thought
out Yuta or something.
Yeah, I thought they were going to lose the titles because it was when Pac got hurt, they still did the match, and then Hook got hurt, and they're like, we're still doing the match. I was like, you could have just had a tag match if it wasn't going to be if the titles weren't going to change. Why would they seemed very insistent on having the trios titles match? So I felt like it was going to change. But I didn't think it'd be Max. I thought it was going to be Yuta, maybe Claudio, but like I didn't think Mox was going to be the one to take the fall. No way. And then I loved how they made like a dual celebration. It was a celebration of someone finally beating the Death Riders and the celebration of the show.
Yeah,
it was great. And the ending was huge. Like that. Like I was pumped up after I watched it late, so it was like midnight when I was done.
Oh, nice.
I stayed awake for a while afterwards, just like being excited. Like it was good. I liked it a lot.
Ending was, yeah. It I know we say this all the time. That ending was very like 90s Raw.
Yeah, for sure. With everybody running in, the Bucks swerve, and like everybody being there. Willow showed up. Like it was great.
Yeah. And everybody there made sense to be there too. Like they weren't just randomly thrown in. Everybody was involved.
You didn't have a random rapper show up though in the match.
Yeah.
Could have done that. I mean, that's how you end a show. You have a rapper show up.
Apparently.
Yeah. That's how the big leagues runs things.
Yes. We're going to get sued for that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went around doing like random podcasters now. Yeah.
That's next.
Yeah, it was exactly, everyone made sense. All the interference made sense. And it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I agree. Now the night 2.
Before we get to night 2, I have to complain.
Oh yes, that's right.
I mentioned the one thing that I didn't like about this show.
And I also didn't, and a lot of people didn't like it. So I agree with you. So you can start and I will add.
I get that MJF is a jerk. Like his character, he's a jerk. Right? I get it. I can even be fine with, he's a jerk. He thinks that like obviously paid escorts, I'm assuming, because you can't make a woman have sex with someone. So like it must be paid. Right. He must have paid them to do this. So I get that in like MJF's like asshole mind. These guys are going to love it. If I pay women to sleep with them, then they're going to like me. Right. Like I get why the character would think that.
Yes.
But like everyone else should have treated that as bad. Right. Like,
yes.
The like Lashley and Shelton Benjamin should have been like, what are you doing? This is stupid. And like the announce team should have been like, what a disgusting thing to do. Like, this is awful. Thinks he can, hand these women, like it should have been that. The way everyone treated it is like, oh yeah, women are currency. That's perfectly fine. Like it's not. Like it's clearly not.
and the lack of response that they were getting from the audience was
right.
It was like
the audience
was DOA.
It was awkward and gross. And like, yeah, why is he like trading women for a shot in the group? Like it was gross. It's 2025. Like when The Godfather did it in the 90s, it got a pop because it was a different time. And it did not work. And like, I don't even want to be on a soapbox of like, it's offensive to women, but like, it's offensive to women that you could like, especially on a show, on a night that had, Mercedes and Athena in such a great match and Willow playing such a big role in the main event of like, oh yeah, these women are obviously equals to men. Then having them be like, but actually we're just going to trade them for a gag in a show. Like, no, that's stupid. It's offensive and it's gross. And if MJF had done it, like I'm not a person who thinks that heels can't do bad things because they're heels, right? They're supposed to do bad things. But if you come out and you say or you do something that's clearly bad, everyone else, like if you come out and you beat up someone's mom, right? If the whole audience and the announcers and everyone else on the show was acting like, can you believe he did such a terrible thing? He beat up this guy's mom. Then like, yeah, okay, the heel can do that because he's a jerk and everyone agrees the thing that he did was bad. The fact that everyone was kind of just like laughing about it, like, no, he's being a jerk. You should like, treat him like he's being a jerk. Like Shelton and Bobby Lashley should have been like, what do you think you're doing? This is like, no, we're not going to be fooled by this to like get you to join our group. And Excalibur should have been like, this is disgusting that he thinks that this is his way to get like, if they had done that, I would have been okay with it.
I agree. It was just forced and dumb. And it almost looked like it was one of those things like, oh, we don't have anything else better to do. Let's just see if this works.
Yeah.
Like,
it would have been fine if he was trying to suck them up when Ben Shelton was just like, oh, I want your watch. That was fine. Like, that's fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Put that in there. That's perfectly fine. But like, it did feel forced and like they had nothing to do. And I think you messaged me afterwards, like MJF needs to like commit to being a heel. Like he's a heel. And when he does heelish things, everyone else should like boo them. Like he's a jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to just like laughing it off, be like, that MJF. Like, no, that doesn't work. Even as a character, that doesn't work.
It's getting, I don't want to say it's getting predictable because he's not predictable, but it's getting old.
Yeah.
Like I hate, like, he's a great wrestler. I hate that he's on TV. Well, he's on TV every week, but I hate that he wrestles 3 times a year. It's dumb.
Right.
Like the whole, like AEW's, like their literal catchphrase is "we're the best wrestle," and you have like workhorse titles and all this. And again, I get him not wrestling as part of the shtick, but
yeah,
what the shtick now isn't working for some people.
And if that's his gimmick, like we said, how they should treat him like if that's his gimmick, like he should be called out for it. Like the announce team should be calling him out for it, being like, "Oh, of course he's not going to wrestle. He never wrestles. He's a jerk. He just shows up and talks and doesn't actually ever wrestle." Like they should be using that to add to his character. Like the fact that like Tony Schiavone once in a while, I'll be like, "This terrible person," but like Excalibur kind of just calls the things he does as if they're just things. When like if you're trying to portray him as, oh, he's a desperate guy who never wants to wrestle, who like doesn't have any friends, who will do anything to get it, then you have to treat him like that. You can't just treat him like a guy cutting a promo.
Yeah. And you have to like, I'm at loss of words of everything tonight. I'm sorry. You have to not let him, like, you have to let him weasel out of things, put him in predicaments for him to get out of, not just like, everybody knows I don't wrestle, so I'm not going to. Like,
right.
Like book him in a match against some jobber and, make like it had in the fine print of your contract, it says you have to wrestle, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then
they were kind of doing that for a while when they're like, he's contractually obligated to be on the show like that. They kind of went there, but then they just dropped it.
If he's gonna be full-blown heel, which I agree with you, he needs to be, he also needs to be put in situations where the heel not just prevails because he's good on the microphone, like weasel out of a situation, or give him a 2-on-1 match and he still wins, 2 against 1, sorry.
And that's not to say that like he can't have layers. Like the MJF character is interesting because it has layers, right? Like he doesn't trust anybody because he was backstabbed a bunch in his life. So like that's an added part to his character. Like that's fine. That makes sense. He wants to act like a big shot because he never fit in when he was a kid. Okay, that works. Like put that in there. But he's still a jerk. You still have to be like, oh yes, he had a bad childhood or he had a bad experience or whatever, but he's responding incorrectly. It turned him into a bad guy,
right? Whereas
some people have bad experiences and overcome them and become better people. He's a worse person, but they don't really treat him like that. Like no one treats him like he's that bad when they should be.
I agree, and you hit the nail on the head. That was a great analogy. You said he responds incorrectly. Like that was great.
Yeah,
because he does.
I like the idea of him trying to fit in with the Hurt Syndicate because he's like kind of friends with MVP and he wants to fit in with these guys who are they've explained why he doesn't enter any of the tournaments or battle royals or anything to get a title shot because he's lazy and wants to just get the easy way to the title.
Right.
I get that. That's fine. They explained it. Sure. But like, why does the Hurt Syndicate put up with them? Shouldn't they just be like, no, screw you, and just like leave? Like, I don't get it. Like,
like
he doesn't have anything to. I get they were trying to give him something that he could offer them, right? Like, oh, why do we keep talking to this guy? Because he has something that he can offer us. But like, the thing shouldn't be a bunch of women. It should be something else, right? Like,
yes, and it shouldn't be based off of a car ride from when the kid was 18,
right?
Like that's where that just hit me too. That there needs to be a little more depth to this.
If it was something like, he's been in AEW since the beginning and he knows how things work around here, and we're pretty new and we don't know how things work, so we're gonna use him to get his insider knowledge, and he's gonna use us as like backup. That's why we're together. okay, that's a thing. But yeah, this, I don't know. It seems kind of dumb. And it was offensive. I was offended by it. I thought it was like,
Totally.
I'm a guy, obviously. I'm not a woman, but I feel like if you're a woman watching the show and they're like, oh, look, this great women's match. Look how awesome it is. Women wrestlers. And then you're like, but either way, you're also just sex objects that a guy will trade for a spot in a faction. Like, no, I hate that.
It's so dumb. Oh, and
I hope they do what the thing is, he has a bunch of things like that. Like I was thinking they had the angle with Juice Robinson when he had the quarters. And I know that was like, it was meant to be Juice Robinson punching him with the roll, but like it alluded to, anti-Semitism, but like MJF was the heel and Juice was the face. So like that shouldn't happen. So they kind of forgot about that. They just ignored it and moved on. Right. But then he also had the thing with Jeff Jarrett where they cut that promo about like each other's wives. And
I forgot about that.
That was in like really bad taste. And they realized it like, oh, that's in really bad taste. We're going to forget about it. We're going to move on. And they probably will do the same with this. Right. But like, how many of those does MJF get to the point where you're just like, this isn't working. We have to do something else.
And that's what I was just saying. Like people are starting to, they're just, it's not okay anymore. Like there needs to be something else to it as opposed to just being, it's like just being arrogant to be arrogant, being not arrogant, ignorant to be ignorant. And that's what I was. So I agree with you.
They've never even really highlighted the fact that he's trying to get into the Hurt Syndicate because he wants them to help him win the title. Like he's kind of mentioned it, but it kind of just seems like he wants to make friends, which
also true.
They should be explaining that then, because MJF's whole thing, and they did it really well with Adam Cole, where he doesn't trust anybody because he's never had real friends. So he can't trust anybody. So if that's what they were doing, he doesn't know how to make friends. So he thinks that, bringing out women is going to get him friends because he doesn't know any better. He's never fine. But then everyone else should be acknowledging that, right? Like that this is not the way to make friends.
Yes.
You don't know what you're doing. Not like, haha, that MJF. Like, no, it doesn't work.
Agreed.
It was the one part of it, like outside of that, I would have thought the show was perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was definitely the lowest point of the show.
It wasn't like, oh my God, I can't watch this anymore. I don't want to be one of those people who are like, oh, now I'll never watch this company again. But like, they should know better. Everyone should know better than to do that.
Agreed.
That's it for my rant. I don't need to rant anymore.
I was just going to say, are we ready to move on? Now the night 2 is where we can take about 5 minutes here because not too much really happened on night 2. Kevin Knight keeps his amazing luck alive. He has his first match with Jay White. Jay White gets hurt. He gets into the Owen, and now here he is. He beats Lance Archer. What a start for Kevin Knight. We already discussed Rocky Romero joining the Don Callis family. Adam Cole for the TNT title he brought back the open challenge. Him and Claudio had a very old school back in the day Ring of Honor type match. Did you get to see any of the highlights of that?
I watched the highlights of the match. I didn't watch the whole match, but yeah, it was good.
It's very good. In my opinion, this was Adam Cole's best singles match in AEW.
I agree. He's had a lot of. I like Adam Cole, but he's had a lot of like it didn't quite work.
Same, yes,
and this did. So yeah, that was good.
And I'm hoping that that's a sign of him with this title is going to be, even if it's a 60-day run with the TNT title, gets him on track for the summer at least.
Now, before we go too far, I want to. You mentioned Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero. They were a team in New Japan, right?
Roppongi Vice.
And I was thinking the stuff with Speedball and Kevin Knight, like they seem like they'd be a good team. Like I kind of want to see them as a tag team.
That would be.
I think that they again have a groundwork of a lot of really good tag teams. Like there's 10 really good tag teams in AEW, and I love the Hurt Syndicate, but kind of the problem is like who's going to beat the Hurt Syndicate, really, right? Like they're kind of unstoppable right now. But it would be nice if they had some like tag team feuds that weren't about the. I know they do with like what's their names? Top Flight. And is it Crew? Is that their name?
Crew, yes.
Yeah. Like they have a feud, so that's cool. So do some more tag team feuds. Have, Speedball and Kevin Knight team up as a team, or have Roppongi Vice get into a tag team feud. Have a bunch of feuds because they have a lot of good tag teams. And it's kind of weird what happened to Private Party, that they had that big moment where they beat the Bucks and they lost the belts and just like disappeared off the face of the earth. So we should have some more feuds.
With Private Party, this might not be true, but I think I read somewhere that Mark Quinn is injured. So that's why, I mean, obviously, excuse me, they lost the belts and haven't been back, but don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I read that.
Yeah. That would make sense. But yeah, if they had a lot of cool tag team feuds, like that would be good. Like that gives people stuff to do, right? Like that's what we thought the trios titles were going to do. There's a lot of wrestlers at AEW. They don't have time to put them all on TV, but if there's 6 of them in a match instead of just 2, then there you go. So yeah, have more trios titles feuds, have more, tag titles feuds, or feuds between trios or tags that don't have the title involved. Just have a bunch of them. That's a way to get people on TV.
And that makes a lot of sense. Like you can just have, like you just said, Top Flight and Crew are doing. Like, it's not for anything. Good. Yeah, it's not for anything. Just quote unquote pride. You don't need a belt. It's fun. It gets people on TV. It's 4 more people on TV every week. 5 if you count Layla Gray. Yeah. So
and I think that's what they could use Collision for, because like they're all good matches. They're like now building up. Collision for a while had the same problem that Rampage had, where it was just like, we're gonna put some matches on.
Yeah,
they'll be good matches, but now Collision has backstories and reasons for matches, and like the open challenge is always fun because at least there's a storyline there, right? Like Adam Cole isn't just facing random people; he has a storyline attached to it. So I think more tag teams is what I'm trying to say.
I agree. Nick Wayne became the new Ring of Honor television champion. He beat Commander.
Now, as someone who watches Ring of Honor, is it weird that these title changes aren't happening in Ring of Honor?
Yes and no. This was like they set it up so it was going to be for Spring Break Thru. So it was already kind of built into the Ring of Honor show.
All right.
But yes, whenever something happens to someone on Ring of Honor, it should happen on Ring of Honor, in my opinion. Like, I get that you want them to be on TV and give them their moment, but again, awesome for Nick Wayne. Dude's 19 and won a title on national television. I mean, that's awesome, but it should have been in Ring of Honor, in my opinion.
And I like the storyline they're doing with him and Christian, where Christian's like, fine, you want to be a big shot, you want to be in charge, do all these things. And I like that Nick Wayne is like accomplishing them. He's not just a lot of times that story happens. They go do all these things, and then Christian cost him the belt and was like, see, you couldn't do it. But like, I like that he's actually doing it. That's cool.
Now, I will say, whenever Christian came back, his promo was incredible, but I like how he said, and I used my sway around here to get you into the Super Juniors, like which is in another company, but he used his sway.
What sway do you have in AEW? Second of all, how does that translate to New Japan?
Exactly. And it was just like, oh yeah, of course he did that. Like,
I didn't even think of that, but as far as we know, he doesn't know anyone in New Japan.
Right. It was such a good line. And it was just like everybody just accepted it.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny.
And finally, our main event of the whole week was Chris Statlander and Julia Hart versus Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron. This match was fun from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It was such a showcase of the talent in AEW's women division.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you a question. Is Harley Cameron rookie of the year?
I think she might be. Like there's like in terms of actual rookie, like she has very little experience. It's hard to like rookie of the year is hard to classify because some people are, new to AEW, but they've wrestled for 10 years in Japan or something, right? So like they're not rookies. They're new to AEW. They're new to like North American TV. But she has very little experience and she kind of bounced around doing like random funny stuff, like with QTV and random stuff here and there. And then suddenly in the last, 3 or 4 months, 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Since the stuff with Saraya, she's been hilarious and then just got more hilarious. Like she's doing great.
She is. And her work ethic must be like through the roof because each match is better than the last.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the beginning there were some that were really bad, but I mean, even she admitted like, oh, that was match number 5, like in my career, So she's just, it must be either a natural or must be very particular in her work to get it work till you get it,
Yeah. I feel like she must be kind of like just a hard worker or a perfectionist because she does so many things.
And she's like, good at them all.
She's a musician. She's a ventriloquist. She's she must work really hard to want to do these things.
Yeah.
And when she first showed up, I knew nothing of her, but I assumed probably incorrectly that like, oh, she's a singer and she wants to become a wrestler to like boost her profile so that she can, boost her singing career. But no, she clearly wants to be a wrestler because she's working super hard at it and she's succeeding. Like she's doing a great job.
Yes, she is. And, whoever is training her, if it's, QT or Dustin, like kudos to them because, I mean, you got to want it from the talent perspective too, but to put somebody with zero anything on national television, let alone professional wrestling, you just can't throw somebody on TV and expect them to swim. And every time they do it, she does. It's amazing.
And she's done what Toni Storm has done, where not that she's as the level of Toni Storm, but she took a gimmick that's really dumb, her having a puppet.
Yep.
and it worked. Like she's made it good. Like she's made it funny. She's made like the puppet shows up and the crowd pops. Like it works. Like she took a really stupid gimmick and made it work. Like it does remind me of like Mick Foley with like, oh, your gimmick is you put a sock on your hand. That's really stupid. but he made it work. And like the sock was a star. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same sort of thing. Like the puppet comes out and people cheer.
I mean, look at Jake Hager's hat. I mean, it took the dude 25 years in the industry.
It was the one thing that he that got him over was liking a hat. And then as soon as the hat was gone, he immediately fell back to not being very good at this and left the company.
Is he not in the company? I was just going to ask you, is he still with the company? Or
no, he left the company and then he accused Tony Khan of being a communist on the internet.
That's amazing. I didn't know any of that.
He left and then he gave some like, I'm not going to go too long into this, but he left and gave some shoot interview where he was like, oh, people were mad at me in AEW for like having putting my political views on the internet. And like Tony Khan told me to stop that communist. And people were like, he's a billionaire. He's not a communist. Think what you want politically, but the billionaire is not a communist.
That's incredible. I was unaware of all of that. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And Harley's just funny. Like, I don't know if you've seen them. She has like her YouTube videos with Mariah May, which we could talk for 5 minutes about Mariah May because there's news about her. But her videos with Mariah May are just hilarious. And I think when you said who trains her, I think it must be QT because they were going to like QT's to watch QT wrestle somewhere once. And they're like, oh, we got to see QT. So I think he trained her.
Okay.
So yeah, she's hilarious. I don't know if you've seen any of those. She's amazing. She's hilarious at everything she does. So yeah, I think she might be a rookie of the year. I can't think of anyone who's more deserving.
Yeah, same. I mean, like you said, because it's everybody else has some sort of experience,
right? Like you could say like, oh, Kevin Knight's doing a great job, but Kevin Knight wrestled for years in Japan, right? Like,
Wow. Yeah. I'm just sitting here trying to think. I don't want to make dead air, so I'll keep talking.
Yeah, I do think it has to be her.
I agree.
But I mentioned her now.
Yeah,
the news of Mariah May possibly will be leaving AEW. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know what to believe here.
Yeah.
Because first off, I think it's odd that Tony Khan would have signed her to such a short, small contract.
Right.
I mean,
and then put her in a main role.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I can also see her looking at it like, she's what, 24, 25?
Yeah.
And she's already been the champion and already been in the biggest women's feud in the company and biggest, probably top 3 feud in company history.
Yeah.
If not biggest feud in company history. So she could be like, oh, I'm going to say I'm going there, so I get buku money. And then if they're like, oh, we'll just pay you that much, like, yeah, I'm going to go there.
Yeah. I could see, she's definitely, if she's going to, if her contract running out, which apparently it is, her contract is expiring at like peak time for her. This is the perfect time to be trying to get another job. Like, you've just done an amazing angle that everyone loved, that stretched for you and showed like various aspects of your wrestling, like your wrestling ability, your character work, your hardcore matches, your whatever. Like, it showed she shined in every aspect of this. So yeah, if your contract's run, this is the best time for your contract to run out, to be like, I'm gonna shop around now. And like, I get it. For 2 things. First of all, if WWE is paying you more money, I get it, of course.
Yeah.
I get hitting the 2 companies against each other, because why wouldn't you? Like, you want to make the most money. You can only anyone can only wrestle for so long, so go for it. And I'm not even gonna knock her. I saw people online saying this, and it's true. If she grew up liking wrestling, right, which she probably did, because she's wrestled for a long time already, and she's pretty young, so she probably grew up watching wrestling. I get it. If you're someone who 10 years ago wanted to be a wrestler, like WWE was where you pictured yourself being, because it was the company, right? Like, maybe you thought about going to Japan, but I'm sure when you were 10, 15 years old, you wanted to be at WrestleMania. That's what I wanted to do. Like, when I was a kid, like, that's where you wanted to be, right? Like,
100%.
So if she wants to do it, because she's like, my goal, I remember when I first went to wrestling school, my goal was to sign with WWE, and I want to do it. Yeah, go ahead. Like, we obviously have our own problems with WWE, but if that's what your dream was and you want to do it, knock yourself out. Like, go for it, because you only get so many chances, and any wrestler could end up having to retire tomorrow. I hope she's not leaving for like AEW's sake and for my watching enjoyment. Like, I'd rather see her than not see her, but I don't blame anyone. I mean, I blame one person, but I don't blame anyone else. But yeah, I mean, if she wants to do what she wants to do, go for it. And she's young, so there's always the possibility, if she signs a 3-year deal in WWE and doesn't like it, and then comes back in 3 years, because she's young, right? If she was 40, maybe not, but so yeah, go for it. This is the peak time of her career to be able to do something like that. So
yeah, I totally agree. Do you have anything else before we wrap up shop?
No, I liked everything AEW did this week outside of the MJF stuff that we talked about. I think they're definitely on an upswing. And
totally.
One thing that I want, this isn't a WWE podcast, but if you've watched, I didn't watch WrestleMania, but the general consensus around not just WrestleMania, but WWE as a company, people are upset. Like, either you're upset about them for, things they've said politically or done politically. You're upset about, obviously, Vince McMahon being an awful, awful human being.
What?
Yeah. You're upset because the shows just weren't that good, from what I've heard. Like, maybe they were. Maybe I'm just listening to people who don't like the shows. I don't know. Maybe some people loved it. I have no idea. But like, AEW, which we talked about on YouTube, which we're going to plug. We have to plug it.
Yeah.
What we talked about we have a thing on YouTube that we started last week because it was AEW's, passing Nitro. We started a little thing on YouTube of the birth of AEW, what led to it. And it's probably going to be 3 parts. So the first part's on YouTube. if you want to watch it, feel free. It's great.
Yeah,
I think
I
like it.
It's very good.
I think we did a good job.
I totally agree.
But anyway, the point of the cheap plug was AEW kind of existed because of dissatisfaction with WWE, right? Like that's one of the reasons it's a company. People were sick of what WWE was doing and wanted another company. AEW's drop in ratings and attendance and public opinion was caused by several things. But one of those things was people started liking WWE again. Whatever they were doing with, Roman Reigns and Cody, like people started liking again. Vince was gone. There was new stuff. People were excited about WWE again. And this seems like another potential shift. From what I've seen, everybody almost universally loved Spring Break Thru.
Yeah.
And not universally, like obviously some people enjoyed it, but the general mood around WrestleMania was not positive. So this seems like an opportunity for AEW to be like, hey, if you didn't like that show, remember, we're here. Yeah. You can watch us. Watch our last show. It was really good. Like they can put on some really good shows now and maybe win some people over, maybe be people who are dissatisfied. I don't want to take too long, but I saw some people complaining that like, good. Oh, the match wasn't good. The John Cena Cody match. Oh, it wasn't good wrestling. The wrestling wasn't very good. And they had a celebrity in at the end. And like, that's kind of WWE. Like that's not even a shot at WWE.
Yeah. It was just like,
I think that's their thing, right? The matches are less important than the rest of the stuff that they do. That's WWE. That's their thing.
Yeah. It's their more entertainment.
Yeah. So if you're not interested in that, like there's AEW. If you want more wrestling, you want shows where wrestling matters, like this is the show. And it's don't believe the Eric Bischoff of they don't have any storylines. They have a lot of storylines. Yes. There's a whole ton of them. So yeah, I think this is a good opportunity for AEW. And Triple H sucks, so don't watch his shows.
I'll agree with all that. Yeah, I agree. No time like the present for AEW to be cracking as hard as it is, because I mean, Spring Break Thru was a hit. Like I said, even saying that night 2 was a little less strong than night 1 didn't mean that night 2 was less of a show. What a perfect time to have a choice for the first time in almost 30 years.
That's the best part about watch our YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
We have a good breakdown of AEW existing and WWE dissatisfaction, but like that's one of the good things about AEW existing. I know we're talking about AEW, like we're trying to sell AEW to people listening to an AEW podcast, like an hour-long AEW podcast. So like obviously they already know, but yeah,
all good.
Thanks for listening and thanks for watching on YouTube. We have more parts coming up. We haven't recorded them yet, but they're coming.
Yeah. There will be, I don't know, in the next few weeks we'll get them out there.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned. We are at Elite City Pod on all social media. And like I said, on YouTube too. So make sure you go over, like, subscribe, and please share. If everybody has been doing that, thank you. Our numbers have been going up a little bit, so that's positive. So thank you. And
that's also how you can tell that AEW is kind of a bit more successful, because our numbers do kind of rise and fall with the success current feelings around AEW. So yeah,
that is true. So that's about all we have this week. So until next week, just take it easy. Enjoy Dynamite and Collision this week, and we'll see you next week. So until then, later.